Hi everyone. Thank you for visiting our channel.
So a quick overview of the model. In the Contents tab you can see the structure of the model, and by clicking on any of the headlines to be redirected to the relevant worksheet. On the Timing tab you are able to feed the general information for the model, such as model name, responsible, timeline of the model, and date and currency conventions. Additionally, there is a description of the color coding of the model in the same tab. Inputs are always depicted with a yellow fill, and blue letters. Call-ups, that is direct links from other cells, are filled in light blue with blue letters, while calculations are depicted with white fill and black characters. There is also a color coding for the various tabs of the model. Yellow tabs are mostly Assumptions tabs, gray tabs are Calculations tabs, blue tabs are Outputs tabs, that is effectively results or graphs, and finally light blue tabs are Admin tabs, for example, the cover page, contents, and checks. Moving on to the Inputs tab, you can adjust the various assumptions of the model based on the specifications and requirements of your business. So effectively you can adjust timeline and flags, taxes, inflation assumptions. There are very detailed revenue assumptions, and the user can amend the most important drivers such as working hours, tables, and customers, and menu pricing. Moving on, the cost are comprised of three main categories: cost of food, labor cost, direct labor such as kitchen, front, and admin payroll, and building costs, rent, utilities, consumables, insurance, advertising, maintenance, etc. Going forward, you can adjust non-current assets, Kpis, as well as their depreciation schedule, the working capital assumptions, inventory, receivables, and payables, can also be adjusted accordingly, and finally the financing assumptions of the business, whether these are debt or equity financed, can also be amended. Before moving to the Calculations tab, there is also a tab used for the menu pricing. In essence, the user can type the ingredients needed for the meal, decide on the appropriate cost margin on food, and then a price range is calculated for the specific meal. On the Calculation tab, all calculations are performed instantly without the need of an Excel macro. The calculations follow the same logical flow as in the Inputs tab. As already mentioned, no inputs from the use are needed here, as all the inputs are fed in the yellow cells on the Inputs tab mainly. Additionally, feel free to adjust the weighted average cost of capital assumptions in the relevant tab. On the Financial Statements tabs you can see the resulting income statement, balance sheet, as well as the cash flow of the company and or project. In the Valuation tab, the valuation of the company is performed, first by calculating free cash flow to the firm, and then concluding to an equity value for the company and the relevant sensitivity table. Don't forget that you can adjust the weighted average cost of capital and growth rate to perpetuity in the sensitivity table manually by changing the yellow cells. In the same tab you can also find some feasibility metrics such as return on equity, net present value, internal rate of return, and payback period. Just make sure to enable macros in order to calculate the by pressing the respective button. Additionally, in order to refresh the sensitivity table, press F9 after you have finalized your changes. The most important business and financial KPIs are presented in the KPIs tab along with various valuation metrics. These KPIs are also presented by using some graphical representations in the Graphs tab. For example, revenues and operating profit, cost of goods sold, cash flows, as well as a number of other financial metrics from valuation to profitability, working capital, and debt. Before ending this video, in the Cost Distribution tab, the ideal cost allocation in a restaurant is presented and compared with the actual costs of the restaurant for the entire forecast period. Finally, the Checks tab, where the most critical checks are aggregated in this page. Whenever you see an error message in any page, you should consult this page to see where the error is coming from. The aggregated check of the model is also depicted in every tab in column A.
And that's it. Thank you for your time.